Come and join me, regular viewers, this week as we try and unlock the secrets of the floating lipless crankbait. And hopefully it won't end in absolute chaos. Just like that. Absolute chaos.
Almost put my little finger in there. Did you see that? That would have been a huge mistake, huh?
All right. That was a terrible job. I think we did it. And we didn't destroy it. Wow. Once in a row. Good job. Looks like he's surprised. Ah! Hey, we're back, regular viewers. Thank you for all the likes, comments, subscribes business there. The channel's just growing like bananas. So let me see. Today it is a cool 91 degrees in the shop. We better break out the sweatshirts. So we're going to do something different out here today. We're going to make a hard body lure. What? That's right. No soft plastics today. It's going to be crazy. You'll see. Let me look in my pile of hard body lure junk here. Rather than just make it all from scrap, we have all these little bits and pieces that, of course, I've saved for no good reason except for this sort of stuff here. I had access to a, maybe? I don't know, maybe. I had access to a bandsaw one day, and I just went bananas with a piece of junk wood. And I made a whole bunch of crankbait shaped sort of fishy shapes that someday in the future I was hoping to make into some sort of a lure or not. And I know what a lot of you guys are going to say is like, why do you save all that trash? Or at least that's what the regular editor says. Why not? Someday maybe I'll make something out of all this trash. Who knows? Or maybe it'll just continue to be trash. But I wanted to make a lipless crankbait, or a few lipless crankbaits. Maybe specifically a floating lipless crankbait. The ones that I saw on the line were more money than I wanted to spend. So I'm going to take a couple of these here, lure bits, I think these ones, and we're going to shape them and make them better. These are real rough cut, just pieces of junk right now, but that's all right. And we're going to turn them into floating lipless crankbaits. At least that's the plan. All right, I already lied to you. I did want to make something that I didn't quite have a shape of in there, so we'll just kind of freehand something silly in here, and then we'll try to cut it out. There was a lure I saw on the line. I'll try to show you a picture of it. It was like the Arrow DRT, and it's kind of a fishy shaped deal. Sort of maybe like that. And it was way too expensive for me, I'll tell you that much. They wanted like $60-something for it, and that's just not going to happen. All right, there we go. I think that'll work, if you can see that. And then it had a cool long tail on it like that, which I guess I also lied to you too, because we'll have to make this tail out of some soft plastic, and it wasn't exactly like that, but that's close enough for government work, as the government says. So kind of like that. So here is the Arrow DRT, $61.99. I am not paying that much for it. And that's my best rendition thereof. For some reason I can't make the internet work. So I guess I kind of gonna maybe bring that down a little bit and kind of straighten this area out, but close enough. Put a little smile on him so he's happy about life. But that's going to be our basic shape. Okay, so over here at the table saw. Sorry for the terrible camera angle. It's kind of hard to cut this out without all getting up in your business there, as it were. Almost got our shape. Done. Okay, so we have our fish shape here. It needs some work, obviously. It's okay that we didn't cut right to the line, because we're going to take care of that with our fancy-dancy bench sander. I know, regular guy. You have a fancy-dancy bench sander? Oh, yeah, you bet I do. You can't wait to see that. So, but yeah, we got to fix this here. We got a little swoop on the back, not so hot. So we're going to have to make that side match that side, and we'll just make the shape work. Let's go gadget bench sander. All right. And just like that, it's a bench sander. And you're like, no, regular guy, that's an upside down Chicago Electric that you just mounted in your vise. You're right. You astute viewers, you. So that is exactly what it is, but it works. Look at that. And if I didn't say it the first time, we need eyes and ears on the firing line for this one. All right, so make sure you get those to watch along. Okay, so rather than to subject you to 25 minutes of me moving this up and down and back and forth on the sander, I'm going to continue to do the same thing, and I'll get back with my final shape here. And as per usual, right at the crucial time, the microphone dies. I guess I wasn't paying attention to the green light. I'll get used to this technology at some point here. But I'm sure I was saying something really cool and interesting and fancy about this lure I was making, about how I made a fancy flat spot there to catch the water so it would swim right, and I was going to weight it in the nose just perfectly, and you'd be amazed, and your life would be changed, and, you know, it was just going to be the best thing ever. But we will never know, and it's gone forever. But here's the second lure that I was working on. I was saying something about this was going to be a more traditional size and shape. Lipless crankbait. Beepity boppity. Don't change the sandpaper though, guy. That's for sure. Just run it just like that with a big hole in it and a big split so it'll blow up in your face. So that's a free safety tip for you regular viewers. So here we are back, but not really. This is just a voiceover. I, again, didn't notice that the microphone wasn't on, you know? It's only a major part of the operation here. But here's the 4 shapes all sanded. That one was upside down, but that's not important right now. We're just talking about what we're doing next. We're going to make some decisions about putting eyes and lead holes and where to drill for hook hangers and all that fun stuff. But luckily, that'll happen right now.
Okay, we're back. We're over here at our drill press. We just got to line up the eye sockets here. That should be good. And it's go time. We got our safety glasses on for safety's sake. Alright, that's probably good right there. So we'll flip it over and we'll do the other side. And we'll get it closer. We don't have to work as hard. Ooh, that was almost perfect, huh? Okay. Okay, we got our eye sockets drilled. They're not like perfectly symmetrical, but this fish doesn't have to pass the driving test, so he'll be fine. So now we got to drill some holes for lead in it. So I'm going to drill out the rest of the fish that use this same size here first. Slammo, slammo. Huh? Camera 1, camera 2. Camera 1, camera 2. This one is not as symmetrical as the last unsymmetrical one. Unsymmetrical, is that the word? Non-symmetrical? Symmetricless?
Non-symmetrical.
I'm going to go with symmetricless. Alright, that was a terrible job, but we'll make it work. So now we're going to drill our lead holes in this fish here. We need this guy to be like head weighted. He's supposed to kind of go head down. Janky setup over here, but we make it work. Probably help if I clean that off. Okay, let's see if we can't get one more down in his snoot there, all right? What do you think?
I think it's gonna be great.
If we can get one more down in his snoot.
Yep, right down in the snoot.
For my more astute viewers, you'll notice that this vise here isn't really secured, but that's okay. We make it work. This is not precision machining. We're just trying to carve out some wood. One more down the belly. Ooh, maybe a lot of baking soda on this guy. Beautiful. So there's our lead holes. So we're going to fill this whole void with lead and then go over it with baking soda. We want it to, if this were level, we want it to sit like that in the water. All right?
All right.
That's not what you want to see. Almost put my little finger in there. Did you see that? That would have been a huge mistake, huh?
Woo!
Woo! Then you'd call me Lefty.
Oh my word.
Oh my word. You go for one more for funsies. What do you say? Because that one wasn't exciting enough. See if we can really get hurt this time. I think that was close enough to the highway to the danger zone there, right? How about you?
I think I'm doing fine.
So we're going to put the tie-on point there and the hook pretty much under it. So we want this one to sit like this. And hopefully it'll do that. So we get some funky maneuvering under the water there. I think we need some sharper Forstner bits. That's my unprofessional professional opinion. So now we get to find this in space, upside down trigonometry here, area under the curvedness or whatever we're doing. Look at that, because that looks hokey. Let's all get out. Okay.
Amazing.
Amazing, that's the word? Amazing? No. Amazing is not the word, buddy.
Oh, you're doing great.
Thank you so much for the encouragement. That's completely in the wrong spot. I don't like it. I don't like it. I don't like it. Okay, we're going with it. Send it. Say it. Say send it.
Send it.
I done sent it. That's it. Can't do it no more. Look at that. Way too far down. That guy's going to be all sorts of bug-eyed.
Oh.
Oh well. Fish won't notice. Holy wandering drill bits, Batman. Alright, I think we made enough of a mess of that one. So this is an important hole right here. This is going to be the tail. I'm going to show you how to make a little keyhole tail for this fish.
Oh, did we go right through?
Yep, but that's the point. Okay? Alright, I think I want one more hole in the belly, just so I can make sure I put way too much lead in it, and then I got to drill it out later. Good. That should be the perfect too much amount. Alright. So there's all our lead holes, and here's our keyhole tail that we're going to talk about later. We got our eyes on there. And I think that's it. I think we've uglied it up pretty good, right?
Right.
So this is that keyhole slot that I was talking about that we're going to make here today. This is an example of one that I made in the past. So we've already cut the hole in it. We're going to cut a slot. That way the tail can sit in it. And obviously the mold has this matching cylinder shape, so it kind of holds it in place. But for extra added protection, we drill a hole in the side and put this little piece of wire through it here. Just bend that over, and then that whole system holds it in, but also you just bend out the one side when you're ready to replace it, because inevitably this little floppy tail gets tore up. So so here we have that hole drilled in it, and we're going to use this used paint stirrer, very used paint stirrer, to make our mold for our tail for this fish here. Alright, so right here we have our lines drawn for our saw marks. This is going to, we're going to cut this off. This is going to be some delicate woodwork here. I bet you I'm inevitably going to crack this, and we're going to have to glue it all back together. But, Lord willing, we won't. And here on my vise, I've got my little wooden protectors that I made just out of some junk plywood that I had laying around. This is to protect all the fine, exciting sanding that you had spent all that time on, so you don't get your teeth marks from your vise in it. So, pack this in like we mean it. And let's ruin this fish. Just kidding, we're going to do it right, I'm sure. Let's go slow to start with. Slow and steady doesn't ruin the fish. There we go, just gentle because it's not far and it's a gentle piece of wood. If I was a smart man, I might have done this when there was more wood attached around it, but dunzos. So there is our keyhole slot. It's still got to get cleaned up, but I think we did it, and we didn't destroy it. Wow, once in a row. Good job.
Woo!
So we've got quite a mess here, but that's all right. We're going to make the best of it here. This turned out really well. So we can see our tail is going to fit snugly in there, just like that. We're going to probably put a bunch of super glue on this here momentarily just to make sure we don't mess it up further, but the tail is going to attach to this little piece of dowel, and that's going to act as part of that keyhole, and we're going to drill through the meaty portion right there when we put that wire in there. So let's make the tail though. And if we remember from the beginning of the episode, this was an arrow tail. I think they were trying to go for an arrowy kind of look. Let's just kind of sketch out some nonsense here. I don't like that. We'll go in just a little further. That should be a little better. Okay. We'll kind of go with that. We'll make some fin rays on it. Like this. We're going to clean it up here after we cut it out though. But so I'm going to get this guy cut out, and then we'll start kind of carving it up. Look at that. My faithful assistant cleaned everything up and arranged it all nice like. How sweet. So this is the tail we've got going so far. We're going to get back to sanding it into oblivion, and then we'll put our fin rays on it. I know it's not much to look at right now, but we're getting there. Don't worry, folks. Oh, terrible job. And that's some terrible carving. Okay, it's a good start. Terrible carving. Sorry you had to see that. Okay, I do believe I butchered this tail enough, so we're going to call it quits on that and leave well enough alone. Got all our tools all over here. That shouldn't be required for such a small job, but whatever. So we're going to cut off a piece of this little dowel, and we're going to cut that tail right there, and we're going to glue the two together. Then we're going to make a mold. Yeah, you didn't think we were going to get away with this without using some DAP plaster of Paris, did you? Well, think again. We're going to do it. Okay, so we've got our little tiny piece of dowel. It's going to fit in there just like that. And this tail goes in just like that. Pretty fancy for a regular guy. Alright, so now we're going to use our friend's super glue and super glue accelerator to make this connection more permanent. That was way too much. Alright, cool. This is inevitably where I glue my fingers to this dowel. Looks like we might have got it right on the first try. That's never happened before. Some more accelerator on there. I don't know if you guys ever use this super glue accelerator by Bob Smith Industries, but I swear, like, you can't get halfway through the bottle without the diffuser blowing out the front end off into oblivion. So then you get stuck with this here sloppy mess all over the place, but whatever. The juice still works. Okay, so that's good. Of course, now it doesn't fit because the glue's in the way, so we'll have to sand that down a little bit. Oh, there we go. Look at that. That is one fishy tail right there. So we're going to make a mark right about there for you Canadians. And go through that with a teensy bitsy drill bit to put our pin in. And in fact, before we get too crazy, I'm going to put some super glue on this animal so that that tail doesn't get destroyed. So I really don't want that whole thing cracking and breaking on me. Just let that air dry for a minute before I stick it to my hands. And we probably got to go check our lead pot because it is probably nice and hot. Coming in low for our fancy lead additive. Yeah, and you saw that go right through because I accidentally drilled a hole on that end. Okay, let that dog cool. This is only going to take a very little bit. I'm terrible at lead, guys. I'll tell you that right now. I'm just terrible at lead. Looks like he's surprised. Ah! I don't even know what to say. I never said I was good at pouring lead. I am good at making a mess with it. Sheesh. Let's move our hand back before we, burn it with molten lead. I think that's probably enough death and destruction right there. Okay, we're back. We had to take a little hiatus there, for life. But today we're going to make our tie-on eyes out of our stainless steel wire. Again, 0.041 stainless steel lock wire. We're going to use our cutters here, and then after that we're going to be applying a coat of fast drying polyurethane to seal them up so that we can check the weight on them. This is all kind of still ugly lead on it, but I'm sure we're going to have to carve it or shape it or manipulate it. So we're going to leave it ugly like that so that we can carve it out if we need to or add to it or what have you before we make them all pretty looking. So let's start off with cutting this out. So we need to keep track of these. That's your job, assistant, okay?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so we need one for the top, which we already have. We need one for the hook here and one for the hook back here, okay? How many is that?
3.
All right. Now we're going to move over to the regular vise and get these all screwed up into these twist eyes. We got to get our specialty white wire screw eye tool and a little tiny Allen wrench. And then back over to the vise. Screw that dog in, just like that. All right, we got our drill. I'm gonna take that drill bit out and go put that away properly. Why?
Because we need to take care of our tools, so we'll take care of you.
All right. Alright, so we take our wire, I'll make it into a little U shape. Kind of bend it out like that so that I can start to bend it with my fingers, just that much. That way it will get accepted into the chuck, because I guess the chuck's too big on this drill. Oop. See, it's pretty loose in there still. Okay. Pull back just a little bit. And that's all she wrote. That's one. I'm going to take a pair of pliers afterwards and just straighten this out, this little bit right here. But still perfect. Or it's regular. It's perfect enough for government work. Or for whatever, anything we produce in here, I guess. Like that little shape. Twist it about. Or a boot for the Canadians. Alright. Part of the problem is because we're using the this space over here for the regular assistance camera work. I can't stand where I normally stand to get those nice and straight, but it's okay. So we're going to do this about a baker's dozen more times. So cameraman, what do we ask the regular editor to do?
Regular editor, please cue the music.
Alright, so here are our screw eyes. Here are our I don't know how to say it right. Okay, we're just taking the pliers here and just straightening out the screw eye part. So it's like that. And then we're probably going to cut these down because they don't have to be quite so long. You can manipulate these a bit, but there is a limit. If you keep bending them and twisting them too much, you're going to experience metal fatigue. And metal fatigue is, of course, when your metal wants to take a nap. Right?
Right.
No, it's not. Metal fatigue is when it can't bend or twist anymore and it will actually break on you. That one's not so hot, but it'll be okay. We'll start with this nearly finished one. And it's sticking down in the top here. And you can see he is about that far too long. Pull that out, save that space. Watch your eyes there, regular assistant. Okay. We'll put it in the straighter of the two holes. Okay, looks good. Put it that way. Gone into oblivion, that's okay. Did it go to Bolivia? Is that what you said? It went gone into oblivion?
Gone into oblivion.
Into Bolivia? Isn't that where Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid went?
I don't think so.
You don't think so? Next time I say let's go to a place like Bolivia, let's go to a place like Bolivia. Okay, so we got this pretty, this hole actually sized pretty well because this actually screws in. So that is kind of nice. So we're still going to put glue in it to make sure that it stays there, you know, forever. But that'll work. And this one right here, we're going to reshape that. We're going to do some work to it. So we'll be right back. All right, just some fine tuning. And we're back. So we're going to nice. Fit nicely in there. We're going to, again, 5-minute epoxy these dogs in there. Why are we dogs? I don't get it. I don't get why it's dogs, but whatever. There we go. Sometimes you got to hone out the hole a little bit to make it work, but ammo. Oh, we got some lead in that hole. We have to fix that. This one's going to take a little persuasion off camera. We'll probably drill that out just a little bit more to make sure that that'll fit in there. And For those of you that are really worried about the strength of these homemade screw eyes, the Engineered Angler, who I talked about before, did some excellent stress test videos on these on the use of screw eyes and a bit of a glue or epoxy, in case you need your confidence built in those. I'll leave these hanging out here. I will clean those up and make sure they all fit perfectly before we glue them in permanently. That's right, that guy's going to get 9 hooks on it. That way, really you're going to hurt yourself when you go to grab a fish on that guy. Alright, so there those are. We're going to clean them up. We got 1 extra, no extra charge for that. Probably like a baker's dozen we did. Alright, how's that work for you? So again, next step is we're going to get this stuff on there. We're back on. All these have been prepped and ready. I did lie before. I said that we were going to do the polyurethane, but I forgot. The next step is actually we have to glue in these eyes, and for that we use our friend JB Weld's. Apparently it's the world's strongest bond. You know, better than marriage, better than that between parent and child is JB Weld's 5-minute epoxy. So anywho, but at least it smells like a skunk, which is one of my favorite features of it. So remember that, you know, regular viewers, when you're making these lures in the wintertime or the dead heat of summer in your house, it will smell like skunk for a minute while you're mixing it up. And yeah, the regular editor just is so impressed with me when that happens. So we'll put a little dab will do you there. Thank you, sir.
You're welcome.
Make the same size squishy mark. Good. All right, go hang those dogs up.
Yes, sir.
I take my applicator brush and I mix it up. Regular dog is still trying to get. Smell the skunky smell. Too bad we don't have YouTube smell-o-vision. You guys would just really appreciate this here. Anybody that hasn't used it before. Luckily, we're in a well-ventilated area, right?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Okay, so we'll take each one of these out, and I should have had the pliers over here, but I don't. Can my regular assistant please go get those little needle nose pliers? There we go. Thank you. Okay. Let's make sure we put it in the right one, because that hole there was not centered at all. If you want to get yourself a pair of pliers there, young assistant, you can start taking these out as well. And we'll try to line them up best we can. Oh, you're going to get them out of your regular assistant's personal tool set? Wowzers. How fancy. Look at this. Okay, you dropped that for no good reason. And we are on the clock here, so there is a little bit of wanting to get this done in a timely manner element to this. There we go. I kind of go backwards and forwards with it a skosh. Not because I forget my lefty-loosey, righty-tighty, even though that's exactly what it looks like. No, I'm trying to pump some of that epoxy down in the crevice there, as it were. All right, just put them next to the lure in the area where they came out of so that we can put it back in that same spot, hopefully, because they are measured to them. This could end in absolute chaos, just like that. Absolute chaos. Apparently we're going to clear coat the side of this one with epoxy here. All right. If you wanted to see how to clear coat your lure with epoxy unexpectedly in emergency situations, if we were like a high quality operation, we would have had another one of these ready to go and just been able to shut the camera off and switch it out, and the regular viewers never would have known. But this is a low budget, low interest low enthusiasm endeavor. Low priority and low main, which is one of my favorite lows. I'm just going to keep dropping this for no good reason at all. Oh, maybe we can do that. While I figure out how to hold an epoxy-laden bait that I wasn't planning on epoxying all the way. But at least it will be sealed. Apologize for the terrible camera work. I'm kind of in a rush right now. Okay, we're gonna go hang this dog up and we'll be right back. Take two. We adapted, we adjusted, we overcame. That lure's hung up, so it's not gonna cause any problems or issues or anything like that. That little clear coat went on there rather nicely. So my faithful assistant was able to put all this stuff over here in order for me for my little simple mind so I can find it. Here, squirt that juice in there.
Yes,
young
sir.
man. Okay.
Not gone into oblivion this time.
Not gone into oblivion. Let's go. We're on the clock here because it's really warm out, so you do have to work fast. That's plenty. I'll help you with this one.
Thank
Good.
you.
Go put those away for me. Mix, mix, mix. You can show the, when you get back here, you can show the regular viewers what the temperature is today. This stuff does go off faster when it is hotter out, so. I always tell you at mealtime, eat over your plate. Same rules apply here, right?
Yes, sir. It is 95 degrees in the regular shop today.
95 degrees American, okay. Same thing. Second verse, same as the first, young man. Where'd you go? Help me, help me.
Yes, sir.
Push it on there, thank you. Beautiful. Straighten that dog out. Where's the dog? I don't know why I keep saying that. All right, and good. Works real nice when you have your faithful assistant here helping you with that stuff. Put that one aside. Starting to fill up here. Yeah, we're missing one for the top there. I swear we had it. I promise we did.
I think you put it in the wrong place, actually.
Well, we had, that one had one on the top. Well, maybe it didn't. Maybe we didn't count wrong after all. Who knows?
You could do that.
Okay, we'll take this, get this squared away, and we'll be right back. Okay, while we're waiting, we'll open up our terrible looking, smelling, and feeling, polyurethane here. The humidity got to this stuff for sure, so, but that's okay. We're just gonna brush this onto our little tail because we do have to make a plaster mold of this one. As I said last time, you thought you were gonna get away without a plaster mold in a video. Well, got news for you, partner. So we're all about here is cheap molds, cheap lure making, and you know, quick, dirty, and cheap lure mold. That's what we do. Okay, there's that all done. Cover that back up so it'll continue to get terrible, and we'll let this drip dry. All right, so we got these hanging up here just so the epoxy dries. Hey, regular assistant, how long does it take the 5-minute epoxy to dry?
5 minutes.
Hey, look at that. Ooh. God, it's kind of like right up in your face, huh? And then there's the tail that we just polyurethaned so that we can make our plaster mold of it. Oh, hi! We're back at our new fancy aquatics lab. We're just testing it out right there. Nothing weird going on. Who asked you? So our lures are out of drying right now. I have covered them in polyurethane. If you want to see a video on how to use polyurethane, how to apply it,
check out Norm Abrams and the New Yankee Workshop, or Bob Vila, stuff like that. But it's basically a brush, and you put it on there and let it hang. That's it. But we're just trying to waterproof them for this. So joking aside, we're going to try them out now. I have one of my regular assistants here who is going to place them in the water for me and show me how they float or if they don't. Okay, so that one did not float, sunk like a stone, but that's okay. It's sitting nose up like we want, so we can take some lead out of it here in a little bit and get the right buoyancy. All right, so let's try that one out. Okay, again, sunk like a stone, but again, nose up. So just a matter of just a little too much lead. Let's try this one. Oh, we got a floater. Okay, that's good. But I foresee a problem. We're probably going to have to take a little bit of lead out of this. It does float, but we want it to float just a little higher because I imagine once we add the hooks and a clear coat to it and after painting and such, it's probably going to be sinking at that point. Now the big boy. Let's try that one. Pops right up. Okay. That's good. That's the way we want it to come up. In fact, this is it almost looks too buoyant, but I bet you once we add the hooks and clear coat it, it's probably going to come up a little bit slower. So we're going to try that out. So these two right here, we're going to apply some hooks to them, see how they go once the hooks are on, see if they are if that will be too heavy. Okay, just as I suspected, it doesn't float anymore, but we have the wobble that we're looking for. It is a lipless crankbait for sure. Look at that tantalizing lipless crankbait action. So my regular assistant here, say hello.
Hi.
She's testing out the smallest one because she likes the small cute ones, I guess. But we did see it did get a good action, even though it's not weighted properly. I mean, it is weighted nose down, but it has a little too much weight. So we're going to take some weight out of that one, but we do have the right action that we're looking for. This one here, I knew was a little too heavy. We will have to take some lead out of it. And I think I will flatten the head. I did see that it does have a swim. It does wobble in the water here. It's very hard, to get the full picture. I'm sorry with this advanced, swim tank here, but I think we can do a little bit better. It acts, it does dart really nicely like a mirror lure, which was part of what we were trying to go for. But I wanted a mirror lure that would actually swim as well. So we're going to flatten the head out and take some lead off of this.
Okay, you joined us live and in progress here where we're going to be removing some lead from these lures to get the correct buoyancy. So we have our safety glasses on for flying lead. We're going to give that a test over in the buoyancy tank. Okay, here's our less advanced C-Lab. Okay, we still got a bunch to go. As you can see, it's still sinking pretty fast. All right, back over at the drill press. That's a good amount right there. Let's go try it out again. So it looks weird that I do this, but what we're trying not to do is get an air bubble down in one of these voids here. So you put it in upside down so the air comes out. Man, we still gotta go. Yowzers. Who knew? And back and forth we go. More for good measure. Oh, look at that, huh? So we probably want a little bit more out of it though, just so that we can make sure that it's going to float after the clear coat and the hooks. That's probably perfect right there. Love it. Okay. So we're going to fill that with some baking soda and super glue, but also I got a secret ingredient called microspheres. They're like little tiny planets. No, just kidding. They're little bubbles actually. So now, on to the next one. Okay, back over to the Aqua Lab. I think that's a little bit better. What we're going to do is we're going to hang the hooks back on this and see what happens. So we'll be right back. So we've put the hooks back on this one. We're going to put it back in the water upside down so there's no bubbles. And it does float, but as you can see, it's just barely floating. I want it floating a little higher because when the clear coat gets on it, that's going to add some weight, and I don't want it to sink then. So just a little bit more, and then we'll be done. Okay, back over here. Hooks are back on her. Put it upside down. Get those bubbles out. All right. I think that will work for us right there. So we'll stop at that one. And last but not least is this guy. Okay, put her in. hot dog. We're almost there. We're just going to take a little more out for hooks and clear coat, all right? No bubbles, and it flows. So we're going to stop. Quitting's good. We'll put some hooks on this one and test it and see if it's the way we want. Okay, we're back over here at the regular bench here with all the water all over it. I just want to tell you guys, so this one is going to receive, or it did, number 6 VMC Oshak Hennessy treble hooks for our good friend Timothy. And this guy, I always like to put a bigger hook underneath and a smaller hook in the back. So that one's got the number 4 Oshak on it and the number 6 in the back. This guy right here got the number 2s, and this guy will also get number 4s. So, and I do know it's pronounced O'Shaughnessy, but where's the fun in that? Okay, well, Aqua Team, Aqua Lab is closed for the rest of the day. I think we've got the buoyancies we want. In all likelihood, the smallest bait that we made will not float once it's clear coated and hooked, because it's just too tiny to get any more stuff out of it without breaking it. So we're gonna let sleeping dogs lie. The regular cameraman assistant there went inside to go take care of something, but the gravitational pull of the square-headed babysitter must have been going, because he has not returned. So I'm guessing he and his sister are entranced with a color and light display. So for this part of the project, we're going to be filling in our little holes with the baking soda, which is conveniently in this old supplement bottle. Our friend Super Glue, yeah, and microspheres, glass ones. So these are probably good to wear a mask around. You definitely don't want to be breathing these dogs in. But name of the game is you're just gonna dump them in there, put baking soda on it, super glue on top of that, whammo slammo, we'll sand it down, and that'll be that, and then we'll move on to painting. Yay, finally. But for this project, we'll also need the world's tiniest and cutest channel locks. Aren't these things adorable? Look at, they look so big. Ah! Because that gets glued on there. Okay. Thank you, friend. Probably try and do that on camera for you, huh? Favorite step, super glue. Ah, yes, the toxic fumes. Okay, just let that dry. I'm going to hang this up so that it doesn't drip and stick to the table. I'll be right back. All right, repeat the process. Okay, we'll hang it up and we'll be right back. On to the next step. Mold box. Made in the USA. We're going to make the mold for our tail right here. It's going to look like that. There's our little sprue bit, and there's our tail, and we're going to use 2 locators on the one side of it. So let's get mixing. That's it, another one down. So my regular assistant's going to start mixing this gently, right? Gently.
Yes, sir.
We are going to have a little too much, but don't worry, kids. I got another project I'm working on in my other life, and that's going to require some excess plaster right now, so we will not waste. Ah, look who spilled it. A regular mistake right there. What are you laughing at?
Mistake.
I'm almost there. That looks pretty good. We're going to get the petroleum jelly on the edges of our mold box so that the precious plaster of Paris does not leak out. It's mostly this cardboard stopper that I have here that I'm concerned about. We'll stop right there. We'll let it fill. We'll let it set up for a few minutes before we toss our stuff in, just so that it's so that's easier to work with. This is the exciting moment right here. We're going to put in our sprue. How do you do? And our tail. So it will never fail. You like that?
Yeah, I like
That was a free rhyme just for you, buddy. Just for you. Yes, it is not centered. It's off to one side. Just relax, everybody. Take a deep breath. I just want to put the locators in there so that this thing will hold nicely. All right, now we're going to let it set up and we'll be back. Next step, so these came off the drying rack. All the baking soda, microspheres, and all that fun stuff are dry. So now it's time to sand. So take your sandpaper, young man. And you just gotta sand it smooth. Probably be a good time to ask the regular editor or something.
Regular editor, please cue the music.
All right. Okay, we're back. We've got our lures sanded. We're gonna do a little painting here. I've never painted on camera before, so this could be a horror show. Sorry for the noise of the air compressor. I've moved it outside, but I'm sure you can still hear it. I'm gonna start by blasting some white on this. Got a white. I'm gonna mix some more up, and we'll be right back. No, your eyes do not deceive you. This lure is now silver. I gave everything a quick coat of rattle can metallic silver because the airbrush started acting up on me, and I didn't think the white coat came out nice enough. But this is the beginning of the sunfish pattern on this particular lure. Well, we're going to leave it here for now, viewers. But I got to say, it's just always amazing how much just putting those little eyes on there just breathes life into your lure. So I hope you enjoyed this part of it. Next week, we'll show you the rest of painting and clear coating the rest of our lures. Thank you so much for the support. I just really appreciate everybody tuning in and watching and commenting and subscribing. Have a great week.
Don't forget.
Hey, what are you kids doing?